G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game on the brand new DLC for Age of Empires 4. This is the Knights of Cross and Rose. You know how I know that it's the Knights of Cross and Rose? Because we've got two House of Lancaster. Yeah, there's no Knights Templar here, ladies and gentlemen. Balance is going to take a little bit of a while to get there, but look, we'll talk a little bit about that later. Let's focus on our players first and foremost. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the east of the map in the color purple, playing as the House of Lancaster, the English variant, it is the Lancaster Goblin. Now, I don't actually know who this guy is, but I will say right now on the ladder, he is ranked number 3. He hails from the Isle of Man. But just keep in mind that that's what AoE 4 World says, and you can just trick AoE 4 World. It goes off where you have your first game that's recorded on the website. So basically, you can just put a VPN on and be like, I'm from Antarctica, and then it'll be like, oh, this guy's from Antarctica for the rest of the time that you're playing the game. So I think it's Marine Lord. Anyway, let's check on the other side of the map. On the other side of the map, in the color teal, playing as the House of Lancaster as well, it is a Laser. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cliffside. A pleasure to have your company here today. If you're enjoying this Age of Empires 4 content, I encourage you, feel free to hit that like button down below. Really helps out with the traction of the videos. And let's get into it, because this is it now. We are here. The ranked season has officially begun, and everyone is looking to gather up those points as much as they can and as fast as they can. And everyone's coming up against House of Lancaster because they're a little bit overtuned at the moment. And look, there's a part of me that goes, okay. And I just want to start this by saying, no, I haven't been paid for what I'm about to say. But anyway. Okay, so I used to play a game back in the day called Heroes of New Earth, and the way that it worked was like, it's kind of like Dota, okay? And they would release a new hero every week or every 2 weeks, and they'd make it early access, that hero, so you could play it, but you had to pay for it. And what they did was they just made it massively overpowered, and then they would fix it right as everybody got access to it. So basically, you always wanted to try and get early access to it if you just wanted to stomp your games, because if you got early access, you could play, but no one else could, unless they had early access as well. Anyway, that was a very clear strategy. And look, I'll be honest, I knew exactly what they were doing, and I let them do it. That was good fun. But here, I think it's a little bit different. Here, I think what's happened is that the reality is RTS is a little bit more complex. There's a lot more levers and a lot more things. On top of that, I don't really think they have the data in-house to really say one way or another if a civilization is overpowered. You got to remember that I trust the balance testers that they've got. They've got good balance testers in there. Mido, one of definitely, if I had to put a number on him, I'd say probably top 20. If he really tried his heart out, he'd probably get even closer. Maybe even top 5. But because of his position, he can't really play in the tournaments. Anyway, I reckon that it's just one of those things where it's like, look, now that we've got the data for it, now that the pros have got their hands on it, they can kind of see that the civilization's pretty damn good. But anyway, that's the way I look at it. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this game. Let's talk a little bit about what we're witnessing here, because we've got two English variant civilizations, both of them starting off with the Lancaster Castle. Interesting position coming down on the stone here for the Lancaster Goblin. Sorry, it's going to be a while before I work out how to pronounce Lancaster. The Lancaster Goblin putting it on the stone. Now, I wonder exactly why this is. Is this because the stone is in a forward position and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to put on the gold? Or is this just simply because he prioritizes stone a little bit more because it's going to mean that he can get up all of his manners irrespective of whether or not he's got the gold? I mean, technically, he still kind of needs the gold just to pick up the extra little upgrades. But over on the other side, if we ride on board with the laser, we'll see he's also aging up a pretty nice little build order he's got here. I'm curious to see what their kind of timing windows are, because I was getting all 3 manners up by, I think it was 5 minutes on the dot. You can do it. You can have all 3 of them down somewhere in that region. So I'm curious to see what the timings are. So his first one's coming down 3:56, so quite an early manner. He's only building it with the 1 villager. Now keep in mind, this is going to provide him a little bit of housing space. Let's check in on the other side of the map. Same thing is happening over for our Lancaster Goblin. So both of them looking to get these manners up early. And I wouldn't be surprised. I suspect what we're going to be seeing is like a Lancaster arms race. And this was kind of my theory as to how the matchup is going to go. But because basically, whenever it comes to these greedy matchups, it's about who can be more greedy without taking damage. And like, Lancaster is just incredible at not taking damage. The fact that you've got the castle together with the manors that have the arrow slit, as long as you build the manors towards the town center and you don't build them in the front of the Lancaster castle, you're going to be okay. You're going to be easily able to defend and try and weave in your units in between them. But We'll check in on the south side because Elaser's got his second mana now starting to come up here. And you can see he's still a little bit behind on the wood. I'm going to be paying very close attention because keep in mind, both of these players are very good. Elaser at the moment sitting at about 1750 rating. So quite a good player now for Age of Empires 4. Obviously, it's been a while because he's obviously a pro in other games in StarCraft. So it's taken some time for him to actually, you know, get up to speed with the meta and all that good stuff. But we do see the timings for these guys going to be about the 5-minute mark, maybe a little bit after it for these third menas, these tertiary menas to be coming down. And I'm curious to see exactly how many menas they go into because I've done like a little bit of theory crafting here where I think like maybe 3 mana into Fast Castle could be decent, but I don't think it's going to be decent in this matchup. I think the reality is because it's an arms race, this might sound wild. I think Fast Imperial is actually the best strat that you can do in this matchup. And the reason why is quite simple. Let me explain my philosophy on it. The way that Fast Imperial works, especially for a civilization like this, it's very similar to the Ottomans as well, is that when you do a Fast Imperial, what you're doing is the moment you hit Imperial, you've got a lot of leverage that you can pull. Through the Demi-Lancer as an example, you've got a lot of ways that you can get stuff out. And the reality is, if you're going, let's say, 9 manas into Castle Age, or even like 7 or 8 manas into Castle Age, which you wouldn't do, you just go 9 manas, so we'll just say 9 manas into Castle Age. The reality is, by the time you get to Castle Age and you drop down all your production buildings and you start making army and you start to threaten the enemy, they're already Imperial at that point, and they can just call their Demi-Lancers. And even if you were to call your Demi-Lancers in Castle Age and go and harass them, then they can just call their Demi-Lancers and defend. So to me, I don't see a way that this matchup doesn't just devolve into quite literally Fast Imperial in every single game. As long as there is a world where people are going to be going for a lot of manas early on, which we now start to see. So this is the second lot of manas that are coming through now here for Elaser. As long as this world exists where there is a likelihood that you're going to see a lot of people taking these manas early on, then I suspect you're probably just going to have Fast Imperials just non-stop coming through. Now, another thing that I should also say here, I've just reformatted my computer. So if there's any difficulty or any issues with levels or quality of the video, please leave that down in the comments below. If there's any issues with my casting, do not leave those comments down below. I'm just kidding. But seriously, yeah. Anyway, you guys get the idea. I tell you what, just a quick off topic for you guys. You know, sometimes YouTube throws you recommendations. Now, obviously for me, you guys know I'm always getting the alien stuff, but I got this one just before. It was like the 5 scariest cave videos or cave diving videos. It's like, man, I don't understand these people. Who are these people that go into caves willingly? Oh, that is the scariest thing, man. I was like, I felt like I was hyperventilating just watching these videos. Anyway, I think, what's the word? Claustrophobic. I think I'm probably claustrophobic. Anyway, the story for another day. Let's get back into the action because the manas are going to keep on coming. Are they looking for more upgrades? They are indeed. So I'm curious to see the timing on this as well. I always love to do little benchmarks like this because this is kind of my thing, right? Like, if you go back and have a look at the videos on the channel, like I very specifically did a Fast Imperial guide just because I kind of suspected, okay, well, hold on a minute. There's a world where this actually makes sense where you can do this. So we can optimize around this. And as long as we can get all of our manas down, Castle Imperial at a reasonable time, then this can 100% be viable. And I'm thinking that we might even potentially see it right now. The way Elaser is lining up over on the other side, we're also starting to see it out of the Lancaster Goblin. And this is what I was talking about with it being an arms race. So you can see he's actually called the Demi-Lancers here. The problem is with the Demi-Lancers is that the moment this gets spotted by Elaser, he just calls his own Demi-Lancers, and he's always going to have more Demi-Lancers than the opponent because he's always going to have more manas at a later time. So now we see he's just quite literally about to pick up that last bit of stone that he needs. He's going to lose villagers here, though. So, oh my god, look at the pathing. Dude, what happened to the pathing right there? Oh, that is some sad pathing. Jeez Louise. I would be... If I was Elaser right now, I would be very upset. So I think there's definitely something to be said with the Lancaster or the House of Lancaster and going into the market. I think the market's going to be really powerful just because you've got resources that are trickling in. You can't control them. They're not always what you want. So because of that, it means that in my mind, you almost always want to do that. So now we see open field system coming through. That's going to be the 7th, 8th, and 9th mana that are coming down. So interesting decision to be using the Demi-Lancers early, just simply because now he's got less Demi-Lancers than what he would if he had saved them. And it means that these do shadow tech, so you want to avoid losing them, or rather you want to avoid using them early. And you can already see Elaser's called his out now. So he's got a total of 10, and this means that he can just now go on the aggressive as long as he doesn't lose any. It's going to be very hard for the Lancaster Goblin to actually defend in this situation. A little bit of a miss macro here from Elaser. Probably left the Vills on wood for a bit too long, but it's okay. We'll forgive him. But now running in underneath the town. So now you can see the first of the Demi-Lancers taking quite a bit of a hit right there. 8 Vills in the TC, and wants to make sure he doesn't lose it. Unfortunately did. But that is okay. I'm sure he'll be all right with it. Still holds that number advantage for the moment. But did lose a lot of vills. 5 vills down. That's going to hurt him a lot in this matchup. But keep in mind, he did get the menace up a little bit, or not even a little bit, a lot sooner than his opponent. How many menace are we on? It's just the 8. He actually misses out on that 9th one. You can see he's coming out. I don't even know why is he coming out. He's got 103 stone in the bank. Is it just me, or is my UI not working? Is that what's happening? Anyway, age up's about to come through. Meanwhile, vills on the south side helping out. A lot of vills here on gold, exactly what it needs to be. It always looks like there's too many vills on gold, but I assure you, it's one of those things with Lancaster where you've got like 15 vills on gold and you still don't have enough gold. Their economy is just... That's probably the best way to say it. And look, it's going to get nerfed. There's no two ways about it. It's not going to happen any other way. All right, we got upgrades going to be coming through shortly. King's College coming through for both players. No real surprise there. I think in a matchup where you're getting pressured a little bit more, or you suspect you're about to get pressured, then going into the White Tower makes a lot of sense. But look at this. Even just right now, Laser doing a wonderful job of just preventing his opponent from aging up. The Lancaster Goblin, of course, suffering a little bit. Now, keep in mind, I don't know about House of Lancaster Goblin. I do suspect it's Marine Lord, just because, as an example, he doesn't play on any ranked games, right? Like, if you go look at his account, no ranked games whatsoever. So we know he's playing games somewhere, the guy. The reality is, oh, you can see the immediate age up from the Demi-Lancer. So the reality is he's playing games somewhere. So if there's players that are very, very good and they're intentionally hiding their flags like it's 4chan, then I will 100% say it's probably Marine Lord. Anyway, so for the moment, you can see that Elaze is going to fall back as soon as the upgrades come through from the age up. And it looks like he could definitely consider going to Imperial here. We can see that on the other side, and yeah, immediately just turns around and just gets the charge straight off. Laser playing very well here in this game. He's got the numbers advantage. Keep in mind, 7 up against, how many are we talking? Up against 9. And now that number's going to continue to thin here. So doing a wonderful job. And this is just the consequence of, you call out these units early, and now all of a sudden you're going to have to start making units to defend. And we can see, this is exactly what I was talking about. The reality is, like, look at the resource count. Look at the resource count. Laser's already halfway up to Imperial at this point. The units only start coming out now. By the time you get to a position where you can contest your opponent, if they're looking to go into Imperial, they're already there. They've already got their own units. They're already able to click these buttons. And that's the thing. You could just literally go straight towards this button, click it, and you've got a massive army. And that's kind of my thinking as to what Lancaster will become. Is that they will just become a fast imp civ, very much about how you can get to Imperial the fastest. Either that, or we start to see the meta evolve where people know that they, like, or when you think about it, all you really need to do is get like a couple of units out to the gold and the stone. They can't hold both of them. And then just try and keep them, yep, Imperial, there it is, 12 minutes, 34. I suspected this was going to be the case. And I tell you what, I'm kind of glad that we're witnessing this right now, and this is already such an early development, because I think it just makes sense. Like, the reality is, it doesn't feel... It doesn't feel like there's anything that you can do in the position of the Lancaster Goblin right now, apart from, being in a goblin and doing all the goblin things. But yeah, I think the reality is, this is too strong. How do you possibly do this? The resources come in too quick. The only thing is, you're kind of weak on the gold front. So if we take a look right now, this gold vein, he's got 400 gold left in it. So there is definitely a little bit of weakness in that regard. But I mean, if you're dropping a market and you're just selling all of your wood, you're going to be easily able to afford this. You can literally just age up and click this button, and you're talking about 27 units immediately. You don't have to make any military production. One of them, Shadow Tax immediately. The other two, Veteran and Feudal. So it just kind of makes sense. But obviously, you want to try and prioritize those ones coming through. So Fast Imperial about to arrive now for Elaser. 1340, somewhere in that region. There it is. The Imperial Age has arrived. Now, there is a little bit of a weak spot right now for Elaser, so I think it's imperative that he looks to try and get units out. You can see he's getting upgrades in right now, and I would say this is a big mistake. I would say right now, you don't want to be getting upgrades. The most important thing you can do right now is just make a whole bunch of units and try and roll over the top of your enemy. That's the best thing you can do, because we're going to make the assumption that right now, Lancaster Goblin is not looking to go Imperial. He's invested quite a bit of resources in staying in the Castle Age. We know he's got a bit of infantry out on the map, and because of that, it's going to take a while before he hits Imperial. So I think playing into that, you just want to pretty much just spam out units as much as you possibly can. But it looks like he's moved towards the front. A couple raiding units at the back at the same time over towards the west side. Relic's now starting to pick up. He's got 3 in the bag at the moment. Will look to continue picking up the rest. The last one's in the south and over on the east. He's got the walls coming up. Of course, it is cliffside. Something you've got to be cautious about is getting raided from the back. And as long as the army's in the front, that's where his focus will be. Meanwhile, towards that north side, Monk going to go down. Infantry starting to move forward. How much does a laser know about this? He's got the outpost up, so he sees it. The Vil's on the run. Meanwhile, the Goblin, he's making his way through right here. Now, I don't know if I said earlier, but keep in mind, Laser's streaming over on Twitch right now, so go check him out. He's probably in a game, maybe even the game right now. Maybe this is the game that he's streaming. Probably not. He's already played this game. That's how you're watching it, but Demi-Lancers coming through. Not a whole lot of damage, and ideally, you want to be pairing them up with a unit. You want to be using them to tank. You don't want to really be using them as your main source of damage, but you can see that even despite that, he's just able to crush through all of these units. Demi-Lancers, I tell you what, how powerful is this? Immediately get that elite upgrade. 240 health on these bad boys. 18 damage. It's not even bad. It's not even bad. And the best part is he's got more units on the way. The Wingard Palace is just spamming out units right now. The Earl's retinue, 6 Demi-Lancers and 2 Hoblars. So all he needs to do right now is make Demi-Lancers. And keep in mind, he's also picked up that +6 damage against heavy units. So it means that any potential men-at-arm replacement. Sorry, I'm still learning all of their names. Apologies. Where's that barracks? Right here. The Earl's Guard. Any potential Earl's Guard that comes out. And you can see this is already a rollover. We're at 16 minutes. He's already doing it. It's scary. I mean, at this point, though, the reality is the Lancaster Goblin can't be making yeomen. He needs to be making crossbowmen. He needs to be making crossbows. He needs to be making spears. And it's disappointing that he hasn't realized this, despite seeing just the influx of cavalry units. It's quite literally cav only here for the Lancaster. So the Hoblars, not really that important, not really that relevant, but mainly it's those larger Demi-Lancers that are really going to be the troublemakers. But now we can start to see those spears are beginning to rise. Veterancy on the way as well for the Goblin. More production coming down. It's going to be a barracks here. You can see it's got the King's College buff on it, now firing off towards it. We can see the Monk coming through. Might look for a Wallalol just to try and defend itself. More units continue to rally through, and you can see a laser in a great spot here. Down 7 villagers in this game, but still managing to hold. Normally in a mirror matchup, you're down 7 villagers. That's it. It's over. It's over. But you got to remember, we're still early on in working out the meta for these games, or for this patch, and because of that, it's going to take time before people can really start to balance things out. And look at the production. That's just ridiculous, the amount of production he thinks he can get away with right now in this game. Switch it over to income per minute. He's able to clean up all these spears. A little bit of a misplay right now from the Goblin. Starting to question whether or not this could be Marine Lord, just judging by those sorts of mistakes. Not normally something you'd expect to see him do. But now onto the villagers on the gold mine. Great presence of mind that he's got right there, but only able to pick up a couple of them. He's taken out 17 villagers this entire game. I tell you what, I don't know where those other 17 vills went. He's got more Earl's Guard moving around the north side at the same time. The Demi-Lancer coming on the way through. And I tell you what, this fast Imperial's looking scarier and scarier by the second. Keep in mind, he's still got these in the back pocket if he wants to pop them. Expensive to pop, but once you pop, you can't stop. And that's just the reality of it. So who knows exactly how he looks to play this out, but just the fact that he is in Imperial Age, we start to see Imperial Age upgrades coming through. A little bit of a raid on the backside. Hoblar together with those Demi-Lancers. Meanwhile, over on the other side, we do see the Earl's Guard now. Going to be caught, or catching a couple of vills out of position, starting to siege down that outpost. They'll be protected for a moment. Outpost on the front's got the fortification as well as the Springwood emplacement. More production now going to start coming up as well for a laser. Action-packed game here on Cliffside today. Vills going out onto the gold mine once again. And speaking of Vills on the gold, look at this. Laser just throwing away villagers. He's down 20 villagers. He's lost 30 already this game. He's in a tough spot now. Economy is down. And this is what I was talking about. You know, normally when it comes to a game like this, you're very much out of it. In the mirror matchup especially. At the top level, these guys are incredibly good players. Keep that in mind. As I mentioned, you know, Lancaster Goblin rank, what was he, 3, rank 4 on the ladder, something like that. Ridiculous. Vill count continuing to fall. He's lost 31. He's got a whole group of them in here, and they're going to very quickly lose their lives if he's not paying attention. Vill's now moving out to the front. He's still losing them. All of the Billmen here just attacking down the villagers. Look at the Vill count, 27 to 55. But at the same time, the military count's starting to move more and more in favor. We hear the synchronized shot firing down on the villagers. He's lost 40 now in this game. 55 versus 22. But there's one thing that is different between these players. Can you recognize what it is? Indeed, one of them says 4, the other one says 3. I would have also accepted one is purple, one is teal. I would also accept the difference in their names. Or perhaps even their army sizes. Take a look at this. All of the cavalry now looking to move inside the base. There's some good little defense here, and keep in mind he's going to have plenty of resources coming through. Even though he's got idle villagers at the moment from these demi-lancers, he's going to be able to produce plenty of units in here. We do see the relic picked up just as a bit of an emergency. Speaking of which, he's only got 3 in the bag, so still got those relics that he can look to try and pick up that are close to home. And I tell you what, this is a good game. This is a solid game because Elaza's definitely looking to climb Mount Improbable right now. If we ride on board with him, he's, well, he's got a big ask ahead of him. Let's take a look at what that vil count actually looks like. He's got 8 vils on food, 1 vil on wood, and 16 on gold. So a big emphasis on gold here. He's got a lot of elite upgrades. Obviously, the Demi-Lancers have been upgraded. The Yeomen yet to be upgraded. I think, was it the Earl's Guard that were upgraded? I remember seeing, I thought it was the Yeomen being upgraded. By the way, he was very, optimistic. Let's go with optimistic for this word right here. He was very optimistic about the prospect of building some yeomen up, that's for sure. He was hopeful that his economy would be able to sustain this. And look, to be fair, it pretty much it can. It's yeah, it probably can. You're not wrong. It's impressive. I'd love to see him look to pick up some additional musters or some additional levies. I'd love to see him muster some additional levies. Is that the right way to say it? I feel like I'm saying something that I shouldn't be saying. But anyway, I'm curious though. How are you guys enjoying the patch? We'll call it the patch of Lancaster. Because that's, I mean, that's what it is at the moment, isn't it? I've seen all the complaints over on Reddit. I think there's multiple threads over there at the moment. I know all the channels that I've got behind the scenes, all of the pros are very much up in arms about the Lancaster, the Lancastrians. Is that the right way to say it? The House of Lancaster. Yes, a Lancaster always pays his debts. I think I'm like referencing memes that I don't even know what they mean. I see things, I repeat them. That's pretty much how it goes. Anyway, more Earl's retinue coming through. The fast Imperial meta is well and truly alive. And vil count, oh my lord, the vil count. Look at him trying to snipe them out. Still, he's got the over the cliff right here, over the central location. Have a look at this. He's trying to go up and over, but not able to find it. Only getting a little bit of damage there, but I tell you what, he's very, very cheeky. Now, I think the reality is, yeah, I think this is fine. Honestly, if Lancaster Goblin just keeps making spear crossbow, he should be okay as long as he continues walling up. Nice little contingency out here. Needs to pull these vills back. Does the right thing. It's absolutely fine if he loses these units out. I'd love to see more walls coming up, though. We really don't have a lot of walls up for him. He's got these kind of walls to the top and the bottom of his base, but we want more walls around the base. I think that's absolutely instrumental, especially when you're playing an infantry combo against cavalry specifically, right? You need every little bit of assistance that you can get, and right now the Goblin does indeed spot this out. Meanwhile, Elaza sees all the villagers and runs straight for them. First one goes down. I tell you what, these guys hit as the Imperial Demi-Lancers hit about as hard as like a Dark Age Knight would hit. It's not a whole lot of damage, is it? It's kind of sad. Excuse me, I just sneezed. I think I muted my mic. I hope I muted my mic. It's a bit cold in here. Australia, it's going through some tough times at the moment. We can't decide whether we're in summer or winter. We're in summer today, but tonight we're in winter, and then tomorrow again we'll be in summer. In fact, we'll be in summer for the rest of the week, which is good news. But not right now. We've got ourselves a little bit of a relic drop here. So a lot of units in the base. Elite Yeomen are through. No synchronized shot just yet either. Let's check in on the other side though and see exactly how the Goblin is doing, because this is a lot of Yeomen. Did he actually pick up the muster? Let's take a look. He didn't actually pick up the muster, only using that first one still. Meanwhile, on the other side, we don't see him picking up either as well. And Yeomen firing off, able to get decent shots on the back line, but not a whole lot of damage gone through. More attacks coming through. He's got +2 ranged attack on both of these. Both players do. And now firing back off on against his opponent. It takes them all out. Massive damage right there. More infantry units moving up to the front. He's got the reinforcements looking to try and hold out this position. 23 minutes into the game, he will be successful. More spears running in from the north of the map, but reinforcements looking to connect. A lot of hand cannoneers now starting to come out. 7 of them on the field at the moment. The Yeomen firing off towards the middle. Plenty of tit for tat when it comes to the synchronized shots. Numbers looking a little bit weaker here for the Goblin. He's got to be careful. He's fighting into a dangerous position, and now the Demi-Lancers, plenty of them beginning to move around towards that top side. You can see the spears trying to cover on that northern position. Crossbows looking to try and focus them down as well. The main issue that I've got is the Yeomen need to be focusing down the hand cannoneers. They're just absolutely tearing through this army. Crossbow as well, starting to get eaten alive, and now all of a sudden this is where it gets scary. This is where it gets scary, and you can see beautiful little dancing coming through from a laser. The micro has not dropped at all. This guy is a professional, ladies and gentlemen. Do not worry. Do not try this at home, though. I will tell you right now, he is a professional. He knows what he knows what he's doing. This is for sure. Whew, I tell you what, this has been an action-packed game, hasn't it? This was a good game right here. I tell you what, this one was just sitting there in the ladder, ready to go. I said, all right, we'll jump into it. We'll dive in. We'll have a little bit of a look. And boy, oh boy, have we been rewarded or what? But I'm kind of curious to see how the meta falls with the rest of these games. Whether like we've just kind of got one that was a fast Imperial, or whether it is a little bit deeper than that, and whether they're all fast Imperial games. Because realistically, I don't know what you can do. As long as you're keeping tabs on your opponent and they're not making military, as I said, it's an arms race, right? Because the reality is, right, you're playing House of Lancaster up against another House of Lancaster player. You open with 3 menas at 5 minutes. Great. If you don't do that, you're already behind, right? Because your enemy has done that and you can't punish them. It's not possible to punish 3 menas. And now because they got the 3 menas, they're up, and then they can add more menas in because menas cost, you know, wood, and you get wood from menas. So there's that. But then on top of that, it's like, oh, nice little shots from the yeoman, synchronized shots coming through. But yeah, I think the reality is that it's just like, as long as you're keeping tabs on the enemy and they don't take you by surprise, you're almost always going to be able to stay one step ahead of them until both of you just reach Imperial. And that's the arms race concept. You go 3 menas, they go 3 menas. You go 6 menas, they go 6 menas. You go 9 menas, they go 9 menas. You go castle, they go castle. They go Imperial, you go Imperial. It's just, and that's pretty much it, right? Like that's how it works when it's that kind of thing. But Yeoman firing off, getting some decent little shots through. Unable to get all the dodge. Oh, massive mistake right there from the Goblin. He's lost a whole bunch of crossbowmen. Oh, I tell you what, he's not going to be feeling good about that one. That was very painful right there. A huge amount of infantry that gets taken out. You've got to be very careful with the way that you do your synchronized shot with your yeoman. You can definitely bait out the enemy, but at the same time, you can bait yourself. And I think that's what happened there with the Goblin. He definitely tried to get a bit more out than he could. He's also looking for Imperial now at this stage. So going to be going up with the Wingard Palace as well. And now this is definitely not a fast Imperial. His opponent has been up in the Imperial age now for about 14 minutes. So Goblin's a little bit slower, but the one advantage he does have is the fact he's up 36 villages, which is a decent amount of villages. He is losing villages, though, as we speak. Speaking of losing villages, a laser tries to laser out the enemy, not able to find it. If he just waited a little bit longer, I reckon he could have absolutely gotten a handful of them. And now checking in with a laser as he looks to continue the offense. How does he play the siege component of this? He's got a number of ways he can look to do it with the Wingard. Whether or not he considers maybe even battering rams as an option, and now firing off once again, able to try and dodge. You can see the splits coming through, wasn't really able to work it that hard. More hand cannoneers coming through. And they definitely seem to be a bit of a trump card in this game right now. And now firing off once again towards them. The synchronized shot on both sides, and now moving in underneath the town center. 27 minutes into the game, the synchronized shot, the second round, the third round. He's baiting them out left, right, and center, and now firing back. Once again, it is non-stop. They just continue tit for tat in this game. They've been going non-stop, and now he laser pushing in despite being down what was like 30, 35 villages at some point in this game. Now able to push in with a huge massive hand cannoneers, a huge massive yeoman, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The game is over. Laser is your victor, and the Goblin goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go check him out. I'll leave a link down in the description of where you can watch him live. Incredible performance by Laser. Lovely stuff. And the Fast Imperial is definitely alive for the House of Lancaster.